Welcome everybody to another episode in the Bus Ride Series, Season 1. This is episode 11. In this episode, we're going to build ourselves an ender farm. This episode is going to be a little bit different though. We're going to speed through the majority of this, and I'm just going to kind of give you some narration as we go along and give you some pointers on what we did. I will leave some information in the description to let you know whose design this originally was, and you can go check that out if you want more detailed information. Alright, first things first, we need to get down to our main level that we're going to work at. I went ahead and chose level 17 to work on mine. And then from this point, we need to get about 150 to 200 blocks away from where we started out there. And that's about where we reach out right here. Be careful though as you do this, it gets dark and the Endermen start to spawn here on the path. So go ahead and throw down some torches and get it all lit up. If these guys get in your way, just push them off the edge, just don't look at them. But you can push them off the edge pretty easily. Alright, now we've got the pathway all lit up. Let's go ahead and head to the other end here and set ourselves a little platform to work on. One thing worth noting though, I did mess up a couple times on this pretty bad, and I will mention that several times as we go through this. Um, Ultimately what I did was this initial area walkway platform, I built it a few levels too low. I'll show you as we go on. It worked out just fine, and you may end up wanting to follow the same design too. But I did mess up, and I'll point out where you can correct the mistake even if you are going to do the same thing as me as far as running split levels here. This build took me quite a long time, so a lot of running back and forth between the overworld and the end. So let's go ahead and get this little walkway going here. It makes it a little easier to go up, especially if you're running low on jetpack fuel. And if you are using industrial craft 2 and playing survival mode, you will be thankful that you have the jetpack doing this. Otherwise, it will be extremely difficult. Alright, now that we got that done, let's go ahead and head back down to the other end and get working on our platform a little bit more. This initial platform, as it ended up being for me, is at first level, this is where the minecart will come in. Maybe a little bit of storage down in here if you want. Don't get too crazy with this platform. This is not where the base of our ender farm is going to end up being. Alright, from where we started the platform, go ahead and count out about another 25, 30 blocks and create another little platform out here. This is where we will start the base of the ender farm. I originally only had enough slime to do 20 pistons, which worked out okay. But really, if you can go bigger, then go ahead and go bigger. The way I designed this was it can be expandable and will be expandable as soon as I get some more slime. But since I had 20, that means I've got enough to do 10 pistons down here and 10 on top. So as long as you got an even number, it works out pretty good. So go ahead and throw the 10 down here, and then line the edge of it here with a full block, and then grab some glowstone, and we will throw them on top of the sticky pistons, which will keep the enderman from spawning there. Line that with your redstone dust, and then let's go ahead and fly up underneath here, and we need to set this up so we can put up some redstone torches, which will activate our pistons for us. Alright, now we got that set up. We need to pick a spot to put our lever to activate the pistons here. I change this a couple times as we go on, but just pick an initial spot and it'll work just fine. Little word of warning, with the fast motion of the video as well as using the jetpack, it may get a little bouncy here as we do this, and I apologize for that. But just bear with me, take some Dramamine, and you should be all right. One thing I want to warn you about though is using this jetpack here is remember, we're at least where I'm at right now, working at level 17. There is no ground. There's no bedrock here. You fall down to level 0 and it's a void world and you will die. You'll lose everything you have. So just keep that in mind as you're bouncing back and forth to try to avoid getting too low. If you watch the mini map here on mine, you'll see that I get pretty close a couple times. So just be cautious. All right, this is the first area where I'm going to tell you where how I messed up. This right here, you can't have a step going in here, and you'll see why later. It just creates too much space there. So what we need to go ahead and do is go ahead and take some full blocks and outline the entire setup here, all right, except for over the redstone. And then on the very ends, make it too wide at the ends to give you some extra room to work with here. Take some half slabs now. Let's go ahead and line the edges there and cover up the redstone. All right, after laying all that out, we need to go upwards now. We need to go up 43 blocks. So what I did was I went ahead and made a stack of 43, save me from having to count, as well as making sure I'm a little bit more accurate because we need to be accurate. So go ahead and head up on the corner there. It makes it a little bit easier to figure out where you're at. Grab your blocks, and we need to make this platform up here the same width as the platform below, like it's surrounding the glowstone. I messed up right here, so we need to knock out these couple blocks, make it a couple wider, and go that way. Then once it's done, we're going to go ahead and go up 2 more blocks. So this will become 3 high. And then after this, we'll need to grab our buttons and grab our vines and get them set up. Take your buttons, once we get to this point here, take your buttons and line the length of this at the very bottom with your buttons. What these buttons will do, they will keep your vines from growing. We don't want our vines any longer than 2, so go ahead and put your vines up. All right, next from the bottom where we set up our pistons, we need to go up every 2 levels and start a new platform. Right here, it comes out a little bit oddly here. So we need to add a 3rd block to our initial upper base here. As you can tell, we need to extend that down. It's not a big deal, but we've got to have no more than 2 spaces in between each level here. And the reason for that is because Endermen are 3 tall and we don't want them spawning on these platforms. So, and then it kind of condenses the space as well. So go ahead and do this, finish it out, and at the end you should have this 2 spaced apart. All right, again, I'm going to go ahead and remind you here, this is where I messed up. Up there where the pistons and glowstones at, that's all fine, but we don't want these steps down here. So before you lay any glass down here, get a little bit further in the video, that way I can explain to you what exactly is going on with that. But for now, go ahead and take a full block and go ahead and outline this outside area again, and then we can go ahead and start laying our glass around this skirting. All right, now we got glass outlining the entire kill zone. As you can see, I went ahead and moved the lever back, and I will end up moving it again. But for now, it's good where it's at, but we need to go ahead and put the redstone underneath the platform. So go ahead and tear out what you got and move everything up underneath. We're going to need a ton of water here, so go ahead and set yourself up with an infinite water pool. and go ahead and start just throwing a bunch of water out the best you can, and make sure it doesn't go on the inside. We don't want it going over the pistons, but go ahead and lay it all out here. It takes a lot of water. It takes a lot of time to do this, and again, you're going to be glad that you got the jetpack. But make sure it's not hitting your redstone. Make sure it's out of the way, and then go ahead and finish up. All right, we got a chunk of water put out here for now. It's good enough. This way this lever's set up, the pistons are up, meaning that's going to be the XP kill. That's how the Enderman will come down. It'll be a one-shot kill. Down, the pistons will be down, and that will be pretty much just a loot capture. They'll fall and to their death, and you just walk over and collect the Eyes of Ender, or the Ender Pearls, or whatever comes out from them. All right, we need to go up here. I have some torches up on the pistons, keep the Enderman from spawning. Made it a little bit easier for setting this up, but for some reason earlier I didn't record setting up these pistons, so let's go ahead and go over that now. Alright, first of all, we need pressure plates, one for each piston you have. I have 10, so 10 in total. Then you need to alternate your redstone and repeaters towards the pistons. We got the pistons back here, and then you put block of choice on the outside, and then line the entire thing in your half slabs, including the bottom, so the Endermen don't spawn there. The way this is set up is the Endermen, they can't spawn up on the half slabs, so they will spawn on the pressure plates. I'll show you that here as we fall down. They'll spawn on the pressure plates, and then the pistons will kick them out. And the reason for the vines is the vines will slow them down. We need an exact fall. The vines will slow them down until they hit level 43, and then they'll fall down. And if they fall a full 44, which when the piston's down, that's a full 44 right there, they will fall to their death. But if they only fall 43 levels, then they're near death. See, just like that one right there, you see him fall, and we get an eyeball from him. So now is into why we can't have steps. The Endermen spawn down here. And with Steve's height, walking upstairs, or half slabs for that matter, you need 3 spaces to walk up as well. So that won't work. Alright, with that expensive mistake learned, I went ahead and fixed it all. The only real pain in the butt was dealing with the water, trying to get the water to go away. But now we got it fixed. I got the lid over the base here. We got 2 levels to work with, so in the end it ended up working out. It gives me some more space. Let's go ahead and get some water and cover everything up. One other mistake I made here was I didn't take into account the minecart track that went through here. So I got the water running over it, so I had to spend some time, deal with the water again, and clear this out so that I could get my minecart in and out. Alright, so we have reached the end and finished this up here. I put out all the minecart tracking and got everything all set up here. So let's go ahead and take a tour. I'll show you everything about it. I got it set up here, so go ahead and press the button and off we go. Comes down here. I put one power rail every 32 blocks. I believe it was 34 blocks. Every 34 blocks, that's enough to keep you going at full momentum on a level track. You can only go so fast, and that's the best way to save some resources. The torches here I lined out every 6 blocks. I originally had them every 12, but Endermen were spawning on the track, so every 6 worked out. In order to keep the track powered, I just threw switches underneath them and activated all the switches. A lot better in redstone. Alright, so here we are. This was the original snafu down here. I got everything moved up. I'll probably throw some Buildcraft piping or something down here to suck up all the ender pearls and whatnot from over there. But for now, it's just down there, maybe some extra storage. Here, this is going to be our main storage area. Throw some chests here. I made the top so I can double stack the chests. And so there's plenty of room for storage in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and head outside here. I want to show you what it looks like from up above. Again, this is relatively small. It's only one level up where the Endermen spawn, and it's only 5 wide. So there's plenty of room for expansion and improvement. But this is enough to really get it going. I still need some Ender Pearls, so I did this before I got enough slime. So if you watch the other video of the guy whose design this is, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, so it'll be down in the description. He went 17 wide, 8 on either side from center, and it worked out pretty good. And he went like 3 or 4 levels up, and he was getting a ton of Endermen falling, and it worked out pretty good. But you could see we get a decent amount falling now. So I mean, that's just with 10 pistons, 5 on either side, and I've got this set right now to kill. You can see him falling, and we don't get any XP because we don't get any hits on him. But if you go back, flip the lever up, then you'll go ahead and get your kills. One thing to keep in mind as you expand upwards, though, I believe it's up to level 121. If you expand beyond that, you make your computer work a little bit harder as far as remembering number of chunks. So your productivity and or lag will change accordingly. So try to keep everything under that level. So you can see everything's a one-shot kill now. It doesn't matter what you use, punch or otherwise. You can get your experience points here. So that's pretty much it. It works pretty good. You can see if you expand it, you can really get a decent amount of experience and or Ender Pearls. But for now, this works. I was pretty anxious to get it done after I beat the end, and I like the idea, and I think this came out pretty well. So I want to get it done. So that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up here. I'm going to take you guys out and show you a little bit of extra I did on the tracks here. If you want, make sure you have the jetpack if you're going to stay in survival. You can sneak this creative if you want. Go right ahead. I never did, and fortunately I didn't die either. You can see my level didn't really change at all. It went up 1 level, as a matter of fact, since I started this little video. But I made plenty of trips to the overworld. It took plenty of time to do, but there's more satisfaction, I think, when you don't cheat at all and get it done. Right there, I put in an activator rail, so that way it switches for me, or a detector rail as it is, so it switches for me and sends me up here. And this is going to take me right to the portal at the end. So jump out, take your minecart, and that's pretty much it. I may end up putting a return system and send this minecart back down there to the beginning, but for now, that works. You can see I made my little tunnel so I didn't have to worry about the Enderman coming at me. But that's the end of the video. I hope you guys liked it. Again, this wasn't my design, but if you want, go ahead and check the video of the guy whose original design it was, and he gives a little bit more in depth. I really like this, and I appreciate his work on it, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and click subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you found this a little bit interesting or helpful. So until next time, take it slow.